Dude, Fruit Ninja broken. Alright. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 97 of Fall As They May, the show where we do like a 30-minute podcast that we don't record. We probably should start recording.
Yeah? You'd be right.
But it's okay.
I have Audacity downloaded.
We'll do that next time, because we actually have some pretty weird conversations.
I got my dollar store camera on.
The dollar store camera. Alright, well, anyway. Last we left off, the favored few had managed to get a meeting with some representatives from the Daywalkers to begin not only beginning the process of planning their assault against Tremor, but acquiring more information about the continent that they'd be going to, as Zythan itself has been shrouded in an arcane mist and fog for many, many years, and up until recently was only thought of to be a myth. They took this time, each character kind of going about their own business to try to help the Empire. Gu went along with Special Forces because of his flightiness and ability to be quiet, to help them scout out Zythan as best they could, which they actually acquired quite a bit of information. Daytona spent some time in the stables of the Empire, tending to the horses that had undergone some trauma after a failed excursion out into the water, left the boat sinking and the horses nearly drowning. Ezreal spent some time with some of the new budding acolytes, though not of her own religion, helping them and taking them through the steps of really connecting with their deities and really discovering what it truly means to have faith in a god. Ophelia spending time with the High Arcanist, to try to scry and scout the area, to hopefully try to just map at least the wider view of the continent, while Gu was taking care of the more touchy details of the terrain. And Nathan, I don't know, he stayed at home or something.
He was giving out vaccinations.
Yeah, and Nathan was doing his civic duty in helping a clinic that was creating life-saving medications.
He was playing Civic Doodle on the one Jackbox party pack.
That's a good
with
one.
who we don't know. Nobody else was home.
We should play some Jackbox.
I'm down. Sure.
Some point.
At which point, upon their return, there was a very quick meeting with the members of the Council of the Empire, where they went over the possibility of different approaches to the land, getting a better understanding of, or at least a somewhat understanding of, the kinds of creatures that live there. And a message was sent from Ezreal to King Funkanth of Skystead, where she requested his assistance in the coming battle, which he agreed to. We'll see where that goes. At which point, very shortly after, an Imperial Guard came into the war room with a message stating that an accord has been reached between the Emperor and the High Overlord, and the High Overlord wishes to meet in Forstford, where they will finalize everything, get a full head count of the troops that they have available, and begin the preparations to getting those forces over to Zythan.
Do we have a date yet?
From what the representative said, all he said it would be soon.
Okay.
You don't know if that means later. You don't know if that means early tomorrow morning, because it is approaching night at this point. It is past night at this point. Or if it'll be in a couple days. You just know that he said soon.
Okay. Are we still at the meet?
You are still among the council, yes. You guys have not actually left that area yet. Fucking chair, shut up.
I will ask if they have a more concrete date.
The guard will say, to my knowledge, this is the message I was provided. I'm sure you will be given notice ahead of time to the final departure date.
Right.
And he will take a bow and leave.
Alright.
At which point, the rest of the council kind of looks amongst themselves with both determined and pleased looks on their faces. And they look over. And Oma looks over at all of you and says, "There is more for my curiosity. A question I have for all of you. Do you plan to be spearheading this assault?"
Do we? I suppose I was working with that assumption. I don't know about the rest of you.
I'm fine with it.
I was just kind of hoping that things be a little bit easy if we were to actually, bulletproof our way through into actually reaching Tremor first.
As I said, if we go with our initial plan, sending troops in ahead of time would be the best option. As just to clear out some of the more some of the creatures that we aren't directly intending to assault. At which point after we should have some path through. But I just wanted to know if you all plan to take the reins at the front, or if you would prefer to leave it to those of, without being disrespectful, those of us with more experience.
Bitch, we're level 18.
Correct, but you're also not military people. There's a difference between being high-level... There's a difference between being high-level adventurers and understanding military tactics. Like, those are two completely different things.
We were in a war once.
I was going to say, I would like to inform you the tactics of the favorite few are plan for something, immediately have the plan go into disarray, and then just fucking fight and that's it.
That
is a military strategy.
That's typically the plan of the favored few.
I don't think that's unique to us. I think that's
every D&D every D&D party.
Exactly.
I think it's a rarity when a D&D party can be like, we made a plan and it worked.
Yeah, we just kind of went in there and, everything went great.
Yeah, everything worked out exactly as it was supposed to. You having trouble there, Sushep?
The cat is behind the monitor and is actively moving things around, is the issue.
Oh.
So I may move the location of the monitor to be in a less
you got a four-headed
place.
situation going on now. That's about it.
Yep.
Move the cat.
This also involves moving the monitor.
Huh?
Into a box.
Yeah, throw the cat out the window.
Throw the cat into another house where she'll have a loving family.
Defenestrate your cat.
The cat objects.
I don't.
Alright,
I feel like I've heard that word before.
Yeah, let's continue.
It's the verb of to throw out a window.
Yeah.
Oh.
Defenestrate. That's the verb to throw something out a window? It's defenestrate?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Famously, the defenestration of Prague, which you have to specify which one, because, man, Middle Ages political leaders believed in doing it a lot to each other.
I now remember a guy allowing more creative use of the spell command, and you can tell somebody defenestration and they have to throw themselves out of a window.
Hey, you know what? It is a one-word command.
I miss when politics were respectable. People would just defenestrate each other.
I miss when politics were better, where you would be decapitated for saying one thing as a joke.
Exactly.
Those were the respectable times of history.
I was born in the wrong generation.
Weren't we all?
I don't think so.
Anyway, let's continue. So, that is the question being posed.
Sure.
Sure what? He asked a question that has a more complicated answer. There's no just sure.
I
Would you
mean,
prefer
Would
us
you like
to?
mac and cheese or a hamburger?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, you're that kind of guy, Luke. Hey, do we want to go to Wendy's or Jack in the Box for dinner? Sure.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm cool with us going with the front lines. But
Okay.
that is me
thoughts
speaking
I
out
mean,
of character.
why don't we just ask him for his opinion?
Yeah.
Yes.
What would you prefer?
What do
What would
you
he
think
prefer?
we should do?
Do you think it's a good idea for us to go with?
Depends on how well you think you can handle yourselves. If you think that spearheading is a good idea and it won't wear you all out too early, then by all means.
Yeah. I don't know if we'd get an opportunity to rest.
Yes. I was gonna say Daytona will speak up and go. If I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I don't exactly want to risk having us get burnt out before actually facing against the guy that does time stuff. I don't know, something about that just screams to me, you need to be on your fucking tippy toes. I don't know why I have Southern on my head right now. Well,
Lauren will actually speak up as he is there as one of your guests, and will say, if I might ask to that point, do we know how much of time manipulation he's able to utilize?
10
Just on his
years,
own?
couple hundred years in the future. Teleport us 10 years in the future.
And he can just do that? If he can send you all 10 years in the future on a whim, what's to stop him from just getting all of you away from the situation? And to that matter, what stopped him from doing that now?
I think it was a chain reaction with Ezreal, and not Ezreal, Ezekiel. The first time, the 100 years time travel, I think, was requires a lot of preparation, but we have to ask special forces about that.
Getting some information about it would be useful if he's able to just, if he's holding on to something and is able to just propel time forward. That could be exceedingly detrimental to our efforts.
Well, saying this now, if we were even close to stopping him, he would have just done it already. He would have just went back in time, and we wouldn't exist.
My thinking is, you've all heard of, or at least a couple of you, I'm assuming, know of the wish spell?
Yeah.
So the nature of it is that when you cast it, it leaves a heavy detriment on the body if you use it for anything but its stated intentions. What if it could be something like that? Maybe he's not doing it because it does something, because it takes a lot of energy out of him, or maybe even puts him in an incredibly vulnerable state.
It is certainly true. We have no knowledge of a casting that was staggered at all. Small number of targets, all at once, in a very small location to start with. This does not sound like something where he could do it to a military leader and then do it again 15 minutes later to a different one. Or he would have done that at some point, and he never has.
You see Lauren kind of just like drumming the table. He goes, yes, I'm just trying to think ahead to any situation that could occur. And at which point, Darrow, the lead tactician, says, "No, that's very smart. It's not a not anything I think we thought about, Mr. Leonor. And honestly, having that on the table is something we do need to consider. If he does have some sort of ace up his sleeve that he's been holding on to, then that's something that we have to at least account for. I don't know that we could really do anything to stop it, but just having it in mind is at least something.
To teleport himself a week in the future, that sort of thing would also be inconvenient.
Well, be that, you will hear Taylor say, it will be that as it may. We'll have to, as much as I like being prepared, we're just gonna have to approach that problem if it happens. It's just not something we have the resources to deal with. And, I mean, time manipulation in itself is already such a difficult task, and I can't imagine the strength of someone who's able to just manipulate it at will. But anyway, we'll have to, just keep it in mind. However, it is getting rather late. If you all want to return to your estate, for the time being and just wait and get some rest, the rest of us can continue on. We at least need to put together a head count for the meeting in Forstford. Mama says, I'll see to it. I'll get a registry going and just see how many troops we can safely commit to the fight. And the lead tactician says, I will accompany him. We get this done and hopefully have it done early tomorrow morning. Taylor will nod, look over and say, so is there anything else that we should know about, or anything? Any concerns you need to put to rest that we can answer?
They already know about the dragons.
Oh yeah, you contacted the dragons in the meeting,
Yeah.
so they're fully aware that they have dragons on their side.
You contacted the dragon cult. You did not contact the dragons. That's point note. They don't know.
This is out of game This is out of game talking.
Mm-hmm.
What other dragons do we know?
Do we know any other dragons?
No.
I was gonna say, like, I don't think we. Not unless you're thinking about.
What other dragons would you guys know?
Exactly. What's the point in splitting hairs about it?
Yeah, what other dragons would you guys know? You guys never looked for dragons, except for than Skystead.
I was saying, like, I know we had like a hang up about one dude that was a golden dragonborn that was
That's
ascended.
Andrus.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
like,
he's on his way.
we had. I was gonna say we had our own.
Yeah. He's because of it's been 2 days, so you guys you get the he's probably pretty close at this point.
All right.
We have, it's been 2 days?
Yeah, because you guys fucking aced your checks.
Yeah, dude.
We have allies that should be here in hopefully 5 days or so.
Alright. Tilsa. Okay, and they know how to navigate to Nuxvar from the coast? We are by the inland.
Do they?
You guys haven't even been to the coast.
Yes, we haven't.
Well, I
Yes,
mean, we told them to come here. We did. We
They
didn't really.
they didn't express any they didn't imply that they were going to have difficulty with it. They've been sailing for a while. They should know what they're doing.
Sailing is one thing, but navigate. I'm sure that as long as give me a moment, she'll kind of put her finger up and trace the air and release her spell. She'll wait for a moment. Okay. Alright, I've alerted the dockmaster that if a ship comes in looking for the favored few, they will have escort to Nuxwar.
Alright.
But in the future, perhaps inform companions of difficulties.
Well, I mean, we were kind of in a panic when we actually got our last bit, so, like, oops.
It's alright. I think all of us are in a bit of a state right now. Another war. Hopefully this one will be short.
All we need to do is kill Tremor, right?
I'm sure it's that easy.
Kill Tremor and put an end to whatever this organization he's brought with him is. Anyway, I'm going to I'm going to take a moment, get some air, and then she'll look at the rest of the council and said, and we'll reconvene in a couple moments, and then we'll all nod. And as for you all, get some rest. You're going to need your strength. Even if it's not tomorrow, it's... From what I've heard, the Overlord is not a pleasant man to be around. And he can be a bit intense.
Understood.
Sleep well, and... be safe. As you guys kind of gather your stuff, make your way out with the headmaster and Lorne. Eventually making your way back to the manor. As you guys are just coming up to the door, there will be, you'll kind of hear a, oh, hello, as you see the gold dragonborn Andrus, in a leather coat, very loose pants, kind of tied a bit at the ankles, boots on, traveling boots on, and you see that the sash that he has from his temple is still around his waist. And around his neck, he's wearing what looks to be... it's the same color as the sort of light green robes that he usually wore when you saw him, though fashioned a bit into a scarf around his neck. And he smiles as he approaches all of you and says, apologies, I was hoping to be here a bit sooner, but I ran into a few issues on my travels.
It's alright. We're still waiting for some.
Excellent. Well, I suppose may I come in?
Of course.
Thank you. And you guys will all make your way in together. It's pretty late at night at this point. You guys are, like, as you guys enter, the house is pretty quiet. You get the sense everyone's probably either getting ready for or already in bed.
Okay.
He'll turns he'll lower his voice, but he'll say, it seems that it's a bit later than I thought it was. Is there any place I can rest?
We have a lot of guest rooms.
Pick a spot.
Alright. He'll kind of look into the study where he sees that there's kind of just like, so there's a pretty sizable like lounge chair in there. Would that be okay? More quiet down. Just... smile and take off his jacket and everything and say, so what's happened so far? What have I missed?
I'll go bring snacks and something for you while they fill you in.
Oh, it's all right. I'm not particularly hungry. And he'll pull up a water skin. I'll say, I have something to drink. But you guys kind of fill him in on everything. Say for sake of brevity, so you don't have to spend a bunch of time.
Invading Zythan, Tremor's an asshole. We don't know where Sprinkles is.
He'll look at the artifacts each of you have and kind of give a smile. I'll say, well, you've all certainly come quite a way, haven't you?
Do they... Can you tell that they're fucking epic by just looking at them?
Oh yeah, like there's visible changes. Like remember Goo's artifact started as just like a thing that went up to his arm, and it's literally acting as like a podron now. like a full like casing for his arm. Like there's visible differences. The only one who might not be like immediately visible if it's in just its basic form is Daytona's.
Okay.
Like, but the fact that right now it's split, and both still have a resemblance to each other. Yes, there is visible differences.
In that case, probably should wear like a cloak or something over it when the dragons come. Daytona.
Oh. They have their artifact. It's the Frostband rapier. This is entirely different.
Yeah, totally.
That's totally.
Just to be safe.
He'll give a smile. He'll give a smile and say, I'm glad to know that my faith was not misplaced.
If you ever want to try fighting all of us again, I'm sure we could take you now.
How about after? It's been a while since I've had a good sparring match. Anyway, I'm going to rest. It's been a long journey. And presume you all are going to do the same.
Yeah.
Well, sleep well, and I will see you all at dawn. He'll kind of lay down sideways. He'll kind of lay down in the chair, lay his head back, and you get like basically from the moment he hits the chair, you can already tell like he's exhausted. And he falls asleep rather quickly. The rest of you, if there's anything you want to do, you can. If not, then we can just jump to next day.
I'll just greater res myself.
Okay.
They said that we should probably have given better directions. You all think the druids got lost?
When did they say they would be here?
I don't know, you're the one that called them.
When did they say they would be?
They didn't give an exact date. They just said they'd be there as soon as they could.
Okay.
I can use the I can use the daily call to sort of double check progress as well.
That'd be very helpful. Thank you.
Is that what you'd like to do, Nathan? All right, what are you saying to your wife?
Evening. Hope things are well. Daywalker leaders, surprisingly friendly.
You're at 9 so far.
For reconvening purposes, how many travel days would you estimate are ahead of your group?
And you're saying this to your wife, right? She's the one with the stone.
Yeah, I thought she was traveling with them or was in contact with them. Was my out of character?
Yeah, she's acting as an intermediary, but your wife's not an adventurer.
Well, no, but so the thing is, if you're traveling, people are traveling, and one of the things that people who are traveling ask right away is like, how far, how much do we need to pack? So I'm assuming that like that she could tell me even if it's like a 1 to 8 weeks, right?
Okay, yeah.
Like,
She'll. It'll take a moment because it is late, but she'll hear her respond. From what I recall, I believe they are. I'm sorry, it's late. They should be there by tomorrow, I believe.
Whew.
If
Thank Christ.
my timetable is correct, and correct is the last word you get. Yeah, so she wasn't traveling with them, but she was acting as she's still home. But you contacting her was giving her a direct line that she could use to talk to the Archdruid.
okay, and I will relay that information.
Good. That's good. All right. Very good.
I do not lost.
Getting somewhere.
Alright, is there anything else anyone wants to get done?
I should double check with Ezreal, possibly with Ophelia, about diamonds for revivify purposes. Since I understand. Yeah. I just wanted to basically make sure that I have 1 or 2 on my person, like heading into final things. And that seems like a thing to let you know in advance in case you need all of the ones you've collected for some reason.
Let's check how many I have.
You bought a lot. Like you got that diamond cut up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jordan. Is the session boring you?
Yeah.
No, I'm just, for some reason, I feel like fucking tired, and I shouldn't be.
I get it, Jordan. Okay, I know you're losing interest.
We get it, you babe.
1 year
It's
into
about
pandemic. 1 year into a pandemic, we should all be rested and healthy and cheerful.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
I have 20,000 gold diamonds, and I have 8 500 gold diamonds. I have 1 400 gold diamond.
You also have diamond dust.
I have 6,000 gold diamond, 100 gold diamond dust.
6,000 diamond gold diamond.
My pack is just
Chris?
diamond dust in there.
Yes.
Yes.
That is it.
What did you do for Chris?
Mude things.
Okay.
Alright. I was gonna probably just split up the 1,000, because we can have 10 each.
Why do we need diamonds on our? Why does everyone need diamonds on their person?
Well, Nathan's asking about it.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Nathan does need diamonds in order to revivify.
Yeah, that is the big thing is Revivify is the 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds, and the Greater Restoration is the diamond dust, which I already have some plugs of.
Yeah.
It's just making sure we're covered, because the earrings will cover me for 1 Revivify. Hopefully we wouldn't need more than that, but just in case.
But that's a cool accessory, so we don't want to do that.
It is inherited, yes.
So that's 10,000 gold diamonds for you.
We'll discuss tomorrow who wants my Staff of Frost.
$10,000 gold dollars. All right. So, anything else anyone wants to do before they go to bed?
Yeah, me and Ezreal going for round 2.
Okay.
We don't know yet. It's okay. Nothing. It can't get any worse.
Yeah.
I guess it's not worse, but
It is worse.
Can't get any more pregonate.
Forgetting it.
Regante.
Can get pregante.
pregnant.
All right. So if there's nothing else, as all of you kind of head off to bed. Remind me, what's everyone's passive perception again?
Relatively high.
22.
13.
21.
24.
And David?
I'm looking right now. Not high.
You specialized perception? Well, then you're gonna be okay. If you don't, sorry.
I don't.
We don't. Whoops.
What's your passive perception?
I'm signing in.
God damn it,
You're
David!
David!
Get out of bed!
No.
Imagine trying to play a D&D game and not having your sheet up.
Couldn't be me. Our man.
Who does?
Technical difficulties, everybody.
Not even no. It's not technical difficulties. It's personal difficulties.
Well, technically, it is a difficulty.
Dude,
Touche.
it is loading.
But while we're waiting on David, check out the slime. It's got like star glitter in
17.
it.
17. Okay, so you don't notice.
Okay.
All right, continue. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Do nothing.
No, well, those of you with over 20
Continue.
passive perception. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
stick
yeah.
my
It's gross, disgusting
Bagugo
stuff.
into Ezreal's
It's a fad that's already died out. Got it.
engine.
It's fun. It's fun to squish, man.
I know. So as you guys are all kind of getting into your respective rooms, Gu and Ezreal getting ready for a endeavorous night together. Just ever so faintly, like really intending to not be heard. You hear what sounds like somebody humming.
Does the voice sound familiar?
Make an insight check.
Fuck. My dice are down there.
Humming grows louder. A woman in a bunny mask comes around the corner, wielding an axe. The killer has spotted you.
Insight. That's a 21.
21? Though you've never heard them hum before, you're kind of tracing, like, where the sound is coming from. It's coming from inside the house. I had to do it, sorry.
I hope so.
As you're kind of listening, it sounds like it is Ezekiel's voice.
Perfect. I was hoping to talk to him anyway. I'm trying to follow the voice.
Alright, so, Gu, as you guys kind of get into the room together and hear this, Ezreal is like, oh, and walks out.
Just hang on.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Guess you're jerking off tonight, buddy.
Do you follow her?
Put my clothes back on and follow Ezreal.
No, this would have been
if at a
like,
distance.
you guys wouldn't even gotten to that far to that point yet. You guys would basically just be getting
No,
into
I
the
know.
room. Alright, so you go ahead and you make your way up quietly to the next floor. Where you know your guest rooms are. And you do hear, you guys, it's low, but you can still hear the humming coming from where Ezekiel has claimed his room. You know that no, he does not share a room with Talon. He asked for a single room.
Knock.
The humming immediately stops. And there is... They have a really high passive perception. You hear what sounds like someone... If you've ever, like, when you were a kid, your parents came into your room when you weren't supposed to be awake, so you kind of tried to fake being asleep. That's you kind of very quietly hear him, like, shuffling the covers to the bed.
Ezekiel. Can I talk to you?
Make a persuasion roll.
Where's my sheet? Damn it.
I don't know. Where's your sheet? Damn it.
I closed it out.
It's your sheet. It's my house. It's my Nintendo.
This is your controller. It's third party.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Ugh. 9. No. 10.
10? Goo, you want to try helping here?
Sure. Am I making one as well?
This would either be you make it or give advantage to Ezreal.
What's your persuasion?
Probably lower than yours.
Mine's a 3.
It starts with 0 and ends with O.
Got it.
Alright, go for it. Worse? Worse?
Better. It's an 11.
11. Oh no.
Could I
Ezekiel-
hear them moving since I heard the hum?
Probably.
I think I'll sort of creep out and start following them in like the, you know.
Ezekiel does not seem to be answering the door in the moment.
Well, when you're ready to talk, let me know.
You guys will hear Nathan. You guys will hear the pitter patter of small legs.
Tiny feet.
Tiny feet. As Nathan ascends the stairs.
Sorry, I hope I didn't wake you.
No, there was a humming and I heard footsteps, so it seemed reasonable just to check in.
Everything's alright. Everything's fine.
Nathan,
Whose room?
Are you gonna attempt the door?
Whose room is this?
Ezekiel's. I'm kind of keeping hushed, by the way.
Okay.
If he weren't already in bed, I'd love to talk to the fella. He's pioneering a rather impressive art, after all. I'd love to talk theory later. But, well, you were knocking? I guess I'll sort of like try. I'll be like, lovely humming, by the way, you know.
You're gonna try. Make a persuasion roll.
That was a nat 1, so re-rolling it because halfling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Okay, that's a 16 on the die. I know my modifier is decent. I don't remember exactly what it is. One moment. Oh, persuasion plus 10. Cool. 26.
26.
Nat 1. 26.
26.
Halfling luck has saved my bacon. These dice would try to murder me otherwise.
Jordan, I wish I had halfling luck.
Don't worry, I'm going to use these same dice next campaign and die a lot.
You know, Daytona's already kind of small. You could just justify it.
4'11". That's halfling size, right?
Yeah, totally.
What did I put her height at? Hold on, I need to double check now.
There will be a palpable silence before you will hear footsteps approaching the door. It'll crack open, and you'll just see Ezekiel's eye kind of poking through. Yes.
Evening.
What is it?
Well, I just wanted to ask you, did you have any plans after the war? Of where you're going to next?
He'll push the door open. Or he'll pull the door open. And just kind of let you guys in. He'll go over and turn on he'll turn on the lantern, so there's some light in the room. And he'll say, you guys really, it's late at night and you came in my room to ask me about my plans, really?
I did. If you're awake, I wanted to ask before we left anyway. Oh.
No, I don't have any plans for after all this is over. And I don't want to start making plans for when all this is over. We have a job to do. I've told you this before.
Alright. I suppose I just wanted to extend an invitation. I'm going back to Valadon after this, and we're a church of knowledge. If maybe you wanted to do research, you could join me.
Maybe. I don't try to put my faith in the gods. There's only so much they can do. I mean no offense. I mean no offense to you, but
This is out of character.
yeah.
He's so edgy.
Yeah, he was traumatized at 5. How else is he supposed to deal with the world?
I know.
Like,
I know.
this is literally, yes, he's edgy, but for good fucking reason.
Yeah.
He doesn't fucking know anything else.
Except the edge.
He doesn't know anything else besides everything is shit. And this isn't even like he's edgy teenager, oh, everything is shit. Literally everything is shit.
I'm sure that has something to do with it.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure the teenage hormones don't help, but he also has literally lived most of his life in a world where everything is just horrible and fire. Like, he's not exactly a beacon of sunshine.
No. It's not the god. That's really the point here. It's a wide array of knowledge that we've archived. It was just a suggestion.
I hope it still exists. But no. I don't know where I'm going next, and I don't want to think about where I'm going next. We need to worry about the here and now. If we don't, then we get lost, and if we don't and we focus too much on what's coming after, then I don't want to give Tremor any sort of anything he can try to use against us.
Of course. You know, if you need to talk to anyone, I'm always here.
Thanks.
And if you have the time, perhaps tomorrow, if you could talk with Ophelia, our resident magical expert, or myself, a little bit about how your particular specialty works. Well, just having a bit more knowledge of it could be useful. And you are the best resource for that.
Well, I mean, you're not letting me sleep anyway, so if you need to know, I can try to explain it, but it's kind of hard to explain a feeling. It's really all it is. it's kind of like I really don't know how to explain it. I can sense things that I think a lot of other people have a hard time getting in tune with. When it comes to how my specific magic works, it's almost like I can see threads, little pockets of events that will happen or could happen. Not unlike some forms of divination. It's like I can almost take those unformed moments in time and use them as energy. But again, it's really hard to explain, and even that's not a great explanation of it. I don't know. I think, if I recall, I think Nakax kind of had something similar, where it was just kind of something he was born with. Like, it's just kind of something you have, but you can't quite explain entirely how it works.
Like when you get the feeling you're stepping down on something, and there's just that moment of, oh no, if I step here, that would be, and that one. But if I go just a little bit farther, then nothing bad happens. This is out of character trying to explain halfling luck to someone who's not a halfling.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess something like that. But
And for you, it's a real palpable thing, and you can tap into it or use it among other components to do specific things.
Yeah, more or less. That's the best the best explanation I think I've ever been able to at least hear before is there's you know how they say a lot of, like, when you're wasting time, when people just waste time doing things that are unnecessary. It's more or less kind of like I'm able to take those moments of potential time that could have been put to use elsewhere, and I'm able to utilize it in my magic.
It's fascinating.
It's bullshit. It's so hard to figure out how any of this works. And honestly, having nobody else who's able to do it except for the bastard who's trying to kill us doesn't make things any easier.
Well, I'm sure there's someone else.
I mean, even if there's
Somewhere.
not, there has to be some sort of knowledge on it. The better I can understand it, the better I can utilize it.
Exactly. That's why I extended an invitation, but feel free to not think about it for now. It'll be open.
I'll see if maybe you have something, but I don't know. The few leads I've been able to get on it haven't really exactly taken me anywhere that's a readily available place. So I don't know how secretive your church is with the information that they hold.
Maybe it's because I'm a member, but it seemed more like a library than a closed archive. But even if it is closed to the public, I have connections.
You know how much longer it's going to be?
Not sure yet. Soon.
Alright.
I'll let you sleep. Sorry for intruding.
Thanks. Well, should probably sleep. It might be a good idea. You guys,
sort of bow and head out.
Give him a little shoulder squeeze before I head out.
Wave to you, Goo. Friggin' Nate. Nathan, as you kind of walk out, Ezekiel will say, one more thing. Him motioning to you, Ezreal and Goo.
Yes?
Keep it down. I'm literally.
I would have assumed that we were very quiet lovers.
You are, but he's also a man of incredibly high passive perception.
I'll buy you some earplugs.
Please. Or like a silent spell, something.
That should be in your repertoire.
Right, but why am I the one that has to inconvenience myself when you're the ones keeping me awake?
Fine, we'll go in the... I don't know.
I'm already walking down the hallway.
I'm gonna be walking back with a pep in my step.
Yeah, Ezekiel's very high passive perception. I think he's like a 23 or 24, something like that. Yeah.
How does he have that many?
Because he's a wisdom caster.
Well, yeah, but I have.
And he has
like...
the observant feat, which gives him a +5.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's only to his passive perception, though. His active perception is not as good. Yeah, he kind of needs to be observant when you're traveling by yourself. You guys go ahead and you go about your business for the night.
Guess I would, I guess.
Hey, Valak, beat it. We're using the basement.
Have you seen Valak around?
No. Not really.
Do we care enough to find out what happened in character?
Do you? It's up to you. Oh, no,
I
no,
guess.
you're not. I'm gonna watch. Oh, hey, there's Rick. Rick's in the...
Hey! Hello!
Hello, Rick. He's gonna watch. Alright, so Luck's gonna watch you. If you go to the basement.
Hell yeah.
Alright. Hey, Rick, taking a side here for a moment. I didn't ever get like a message back from you. Are you just kind of done with the campaign? Like I messaged you about what was going on. You left the group chat. I just want to know, like, is it just like a busy thing? What's going on? I sent one back last week. Did you? Let me see. I don't have anything. Yeah, I don't have anything.
No.
I think like if he still has Discord, he might want to try to send you the message through Discord then.
Yeah.
I like to think that me and Ezreal are gonna try some crazy shit like flying through the midnight sky.
A whole new world.
Don't worry, I can hang on.
Yeah, I'll message him. Okay, cool. Yeah, just shoot me the message. Anyway, as you guys kind of you get into you kind of lay down in your respective areas, wherever that may be. Next morning will come to you, Nathan. Nathan, you'll be the first one up this time around. Besides Ezreal, who all she has to do is meditate and she's fine. Make your way downstairs. You kind of, as you're making your way through, you look out one of the windows and you will see a guard approaching the house. Whether or not you'd like to try to catch the door before he knocks is up to you.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Okay. You go over and you open the door right as he's about to knock, and he goes, hello, good morning.
Good morning. We've been expecting you. Come on in.
I presume you have. It's just quick. He'll hand a message to you. We'll say, I hope to see you soon at the palace for travel. But take your time. Everyone's still getting ready. Have something to eat before we depart.
Today.
And Ezreal, you would probably hear, because it's not exactly hushed conversation, but it is quiet conversation. As you come down hearing what's going on, you actually look over in the study. You can see Andrus is still fast asleep in the chair. Go over and the guard will give you a smile and nod. And say, again, we hope to see you all soon, but take your time.
Are we departing today?
Yes. Everyone, those that are ready from the council. So the members of the council are getting preparations ready, and they wish to have you all come along, as you'll be the one of the main keys, from what I understand. But again, this is just in passing that I've heard. But we will see you soon, hopefully. But again, we have some time, so take the morning to yourselves. And he'll give a bow and walk away. Door closed.
So it's not everyone, it's just those who are ready that's going?
So members of the council are going to be going. Yeah, so members of the council are going to be going to Forstford to finish up. Based on what you understand of the council and their members, it's likely that Oma and Darrow are going to be there, as they play key roles in the military aspects of the Empire. You don't know about Talith. You don't know about... Let me get the last guy's name. You do not know about... I'm trying to... Myson. And you don't know about the Emperor either, whether or not he's coming.
We're not going to we're not going forward with the assault.
No. This is
okay.
You guys are going to Forstford to finalize counts with the High Overseer or the High Overlord, and to get a better understanding of just where you guys will be in terms of readily available reinforcements.
Okay.
Passing on the physical message right away to Ezreal.
As Ezreal, as you kind of pop it open and look, you see it is very much the same sort of thing he just conveyed. It is a message saying that the council is making preparations to teleport to Forstford for a meeting. They would love to have you accompanying, just as you play a prominent role in all this. It doesn't tell you who you'll be traveling with, but you do see in the message that it does say that the Emperor is going to be accompanying you.
I'll relay this to the party, and then I'll go to the bathroom.
All right.
Aim, dog.
All right. Let's go ahead and, just so everybody can have a moment, let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break here so everyone can get drinks and use the restroom. And then we'll be back in just a moment. welcome back. Sorry, we took a little bit of a longer intermission to speak with a old party member, and so anyway, let's continue on. So, you guys are still in the early morning. Is there anything, Nathan and Ezreal, is there anything you two want to get accomplished before the others wake up?
If we kind of have the morning to ourselves, I will ask him to teach me cooking stuff.
I can get. I guess I'll sort of like get you started on the very basics of, and it is useful. We can still get everything ready for folks as they're waking up. It makes their time to pack and time to prepare easier. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably start with the things that we have access to. So it'd be things like oatmeal and maybe grits and things like that to start off, biscuits and things.
Gotcha. All right. So Ezreal, make a dexterity check.
Cocked. 7.
7. What exactly are you teaching her how to cook? Like grits, like oats and grits?
Probably the very first thing would be oatmeal, because it's like, here are certain proportions, and here's how like stirring it and having the heat on a certain thing matters, and then the end result after like 30 minutes you can get a really creamy, really wonderful thing. Gotcha. So you'll feel very accomplished from a simple dish. That's his goal.
So Ezreal,
yeah,
Guzman teaching you how to cook his stews and boiled foods, and you're pretty good at it. You've gotten to the point now that you're very comfortable making it.
This one was a little better.
Your knife skills are better, and as Nathan describes oatmeal to you, you're like, oh, this is I can apply some of what I've learned with goo to this. And Nathan, there's a moment where you kind of have to like go into the cupboards for a while to find something. And when you turn around, you'll see Ezreal kind of like scraping the side of a pot with a spoon. And instead of doing that, like sort of like like constant mixing, making sure that you're integrating things, she's kind of just dumped everything in. And as she's pulling away from the sides of the pot, you see the oatmeal has burned.
Oog. Eeg.
Okay, well, that's why you do them in batches, after all.
All right. We'll say you guys spend the next couple hours managing to salvage a decent breakfast for everybody.
Or just throw that in the trash. Maybe take a couple. Squirt the fire down a little bit.
How does one control the heat on logs?
I like the idea that
you use water to spray it.
Regular stoves do not exist, but like spray bottles do.
I mean, there'd be buckets so you could like kind of semi-douse the flames. But as you guys kind of, as all of you kind of slowly come to, many of you smell the lovely scent of oatmeal in the air, and slight charring, something. Because if you've ever burned something in your house, it doesn't matter how many windows you open, it's gonna be there for the next like 7 or 8 hours.
I think it's called my character's face.
Ophelia, as you did cast Greater Restoration on yourself, right?
Yep.
As you kind of wake up the next morning, you kind of reach up, touch the areas of your face, and the Greater Restoration did help in some parts. It's going to take a couple more, but you can tell as you kind of get up and you kind of look into a mirror, you're like, okay, it's returning to normal. It's just going to take a little bit.
I also Greater Rest, by the way.
So she needs to do it one more time.
Okay.
My face.
So one more time, and Ophelia will be fine. Would you like to use your wish spell to cast Greater Restoration on yourself?
I'm gonna do it anyway, so fuck it, why not?
All right. So as you're in the mirror, you wish for your greater restoration. And as you do so, your features return to normal. You double check, and yeah, everything is fine now.
Hell yeah.
You're no longer an ugly monster.
There was the ugly wizard. She was
She
so,
was so
ugly. Everyone died.
He wore a mask.
The end.
The end.
Our brother died. The end.
So as all of you kind of make your way downstairs, a couple things happen in pretty rapid succession. Number one, you will see bags being shuffled downstairs. Number two, you will hear another knock at the door. And number three, the house will explode. I'm joking.
Oh shit!
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! And number three, there's a moment kind of in the in-between of everything where you all kind of feel a lurch. Like there is a swift kind of like a wave that collides into you.
Like, did we feel it physically?
Like physically, like it's like you actually have to like put a foot in front of you to catch it, to catch yourself.
Alright.
Is there a source that I could see for this?
Depending on where you're standing in the house, if this is if my face is the front of the house, where the dining room is, it came from the far wall of the dining room.
Investigation.
Make an investigation check.
Me?
You asked for it.
11.
You have no idea.
Investigation check?
Can I try also?
Everyone who wants to can make an investigation check.
16. I rolled pretty bad.
11.
17?
I'm sorry, did you say 16,
No, wait, 16?
David?
I think it
Yeah.
is 16.
16.
Yeah?
No, it's lower
You're
than
the
that.
intelligence boy. You're the one who smarts.
I rolled
15.
a 4.
17.
Daytona, did you want to roll? No?
I was gonna say, you think Daytona would be like, it came in that direction. Like, I'm pretty sure
you can make it at 20.
I like the idea of Daytona randomly having a moment of pure intelligence, just forethought, Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, you ready for this
figuring
shit? You ready for this shit? 7.
7.
It came from that direction.
So everyone who rolled above a 15.
Hell yeah.
I did not roll above a 15. I was wrong. I was adding 10 instead of 9.
For two of you, so for one of you, Goo, you felt what felt like a very odd. It literally felt like someone was going behind your back and pushing you really hard. Nathan and Ophelia, you can both make Arcana checks for me.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
22. Not bad.
22.
It was 16 on the die, but I'm trying to remember where my Arcana is. Okay. Yes. 31. I'm just waiting for the final battle when this die is going to be like 5, 4, 9, 3. I'll be like, thank you for
Thank you.
all those ability checks that you let me.
You rolled a 22, David?
Yeah, 22.
22. This definitely had something to do with some sort of energy being released all at once. And creating this sort of large fluctuation. Nathan, you realize that too, but you also realize that this was probably on a very, very wide scale. And you guys probably caught near the tail end of it.
Oh.
What cardinal direction did it come from?
What cardinal direction?
Yes.
Did it come from
Cardinal
the
direction,
second
it came
continent?
from the east.
Is that where the
Absolutely
continent is?
not. Uh,
That
yeah, I have to go and assume it's from Zythan.
does it come from the direction of Zythan?
Scythan is to the east.
Oh, that's cool.
Like a
It's also
very
to the west and north and south.
And north, yeah, exactly. Any direction you go to.
Are we gonna get hit again?
All roads lead to Zythan, if you didn't know.
a
When in
large,
Scythan, do as the Zathinians do.
All
Like-
the only road.
like a very large explosion or a very, very large impact,
Like
or
a
perhaps
very
a
yeah.
volcano caldera that finally released.
Yeah, basically, like, I mean, I'm assuming some of you have been in an earthquake before.
No.
I live in California. Chris lives in California.
Chris does
lived
not live in
Cal-
California.
Lived in California.
Either way, I've
Um,
experienced
It was
them.
not unlike. It was not. The amount of force was not unlike catching an aftershock, where you're kind of knocked off your feet for a moment. It's not going to do any It's not going to do any damage, or it's not. Or it's small enough that it's not going to do any damage, but it's big enough that it was definitely like off-putting.
But that's just here.
That is just there. You don't know what happened everywhere else.
So, I'll go outside and see what's going on.
As you open the door, you will see two druids from the grove standing there. And you will see them both kind of like trying to figure out what the hell just happened.
Did you feel that?
Yes, I did. What was that?
No, I'm gonna look outside. What's going on? Anything?
You look outside and you see that there's people out on the streets that are like, what? Like, are murmuring to each other, trying to figure out what the hell happened. You see the guard is on edge. Like, everybody felt that.
Ooh.
May we come in?
Please. This
I
food.
might not have the time. Anyway, I'm a quick introduction. I'm Lucan. Pleasure to meet you. It's a man of elven descent. His hair is braided. It is braided back with flowers in it. His robes are dingy but presentable. He's very, very beautiful blue eyes and very fair skin. He's slightly taller than you, just very slightly.
Alright.
He says, I am Lucan. I'm here as representative from the Grove, or from Rose Lake. The Archdruid wishes she could be here, but she is preoccupied as she received your message. She'd been making ready for transportation. For transportation means when we need to depart. And the other one, also an elf. It also looks like elf, but you quickly discern half elf. Extremely striking resemblance to the elf. Probably his son, if you had to guess.
Okay.
And he will smile and I'll give a name. And I am Tile. Pleasure.
Please make
yes,
yourself
yes.
at home.
Thank you. Though again, I don't know if we have the time. Which you see, everyone in the house is like, oh no, like. It's one of those moments of like, oh, this can only mean bad things. All right. You will see. What is it? Xander will come over to you and say, "Oh, okay. Is there anything we need to know about?"
We're not sure what's going on.
Great. That's always a good thing to go into this with. I'm assuming you're going to convey to everyone the message that you received.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you all are going, then be quick. Glad we planned ahead of time. Go ahead and get the bags set up in the living room, war room. You okay if we call it a war room?
For now.
Set it up in the war room. And you'll see Lauren and the headmaster say, "Oh, Lauren will in the headmaster say, Oh, all right. If this is happening soon, I'll make sure all my things are prepared. And Lorne will say, I will as well. Do you have a safe or something?
We have a safe.
Not really. You have a safe in the closet upstairs, in the theater room.
I'll direct him to there.
Okay. That is Ophelia's
I
territory.
have a safe word.
That is Ophelia's territory.
Just go for it. Fuck it.
Okay. Fuck it doesn't matter. All right. So Lorne will bolt upstairs. Andrus will come over and say, well, I'd have nothing really to prepare for, so is there anything you all need prepared in your absence?
I don't think so. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
Okay, perfect. Well, in the meantime, I'll begin helping to pack, and he'll head upstairs. This will basically leave you guys. You guys and the members of special forces who are currently kind of moving all their bags into the war room.
Nice.
You will see Talon kind of come down and say, "Is everyone all right?"
I believe so. Yeah.
Seems we're running out of time.
Yeah, time's never really been on our side, has it? Oh god.
You know how to make jokes too, apparently.
Hey, you gotta find a reason to laugh at that. Laugh at things, or else you're just sad.
We like to have fun here.
We sure do. When are you guys leaving?
Soon.
Ow.
Okay.
We should probably teach that to Ezekiel.
I'll do my best after all this is done. Seems like everyone's in a scramble here. I guess we're just getting ready?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, awesome. I'll be back, and he'll run upstairs. And Special Forces say, we'll get them ready. We'll make sure we have everything prepared.
Good. Thank you.
Are we expecting anybody else?
The
Dragons.
the dragons. No,
Well,
they're
dragons
not
aren't coming. Dragons are waiting you to message them.
Yeah, the dragons of the Drow household, which I will message them both.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're moving out sooner than expected. Be ready. Like, something to that effect.
Okay.
The captain
Both of them will respond in kind, and more or less just give acknowledgement of, all right, we'll be ready to mobilize.
Yeah, I'm guessing the dragons also felt the fucking explosion.
Oh yeah, no, like I would say probably the Drow house would be the one to mention it.
Okay.
So you just have some sort of confirmation that this was very much like that chime you heard, where everyone felt it or heard it. All right, I'll say you guys scarf your breakfast really quickly. Don't want to go to a meeting with an empty stomach.
Right.
And unless there's anything else, you guys hastily make your way to the palace. You were met about halfway by a small platoon of guard. We were just coming to recover you. The Emperor says we must leave with haste.
Exactly what we were thinking. Let's go.
And then you guys will book it back towards the palace.
Is there any time between
You get
going
time
to the
you can
temple?
grab Hornet.
It's not a matter of grabbing Hornet. I wanted to know about the other horses because we are not done.
There is no time, at least in the moment for this meeting. Everyone seems to be moving with extreme haste. As you guys are moving through the streets, guards are actively attempting to get people to calm down. Like, it seems that some of them have gone into a panic, thinking something, especially coming off of the recent attacks.
Well, that was why I wanted to ask about the horses, because they are already traumatized by the water. It would not surprise me if that would have shocked them.
Yeah, you have don't have any time to make it to the stables. You guys are, you can attempt to ask if you want to break off, but right now you are basically being moved with all haste towards the palace to make ready for your departure. But it's up to you. You can ask to break off if you'd like to.
It is how it is.
Okay. It is up to you. You can ask if you want to.
There's no point. Like, Daytona would have just wanted to try to actually finish the work that was done, but if it can't be done, then whatever.
Gotcha. Okay. As you guys kind of make your way towards the palace, you will see that kind of as you're coasting the ridge up towards it, there is a group of mages. You see the emperor is actually adorned in what appears to be ceremonial armor. It is heavy armor. His sword at his side. And you do see Rovius, I guess it would be attendant, because I can't remember the exact name. His right hand with him. And as you guys are approaching up, there will be a moment of, not as intense, but you guys kind of feel a small tremor in the ground.
How small is he?
You?
I made the joke before anyone else could. And the emperor say, "Thank you for coming as quickly as you did. We need to get a move on. We've prepared documents for the High Overlord, and I pray that this won't take long. Talith, we are ready." She'll say, Of course. Everyone, link hands, please."
Yep.
And as they do so, you'll have to go in two groups because there's enough people. And it looks like Talith is going to be joining you, as well as Oma and Darrow. As you guys are flung through. The. Okay. As you guys are flung forward, you arrive at you begin coasting towards your destination. And as you're going through, all of you hear what sounds like a chain rattling. Ching.
No!
Before landing in Forstford.
I would suppose this is a different chain.
Make an insight check.
That was a joke, but also 30.
30?
Snoop Dogg
No.
wiggling around his necklace.
So taking a moment away from the intensity to describe. As you guys touch down, you will find yourself in front of a very large castle. You will see lining the outside, a little bit on edge, but lining the outside are various guard of different races, all of them with muskets, similar to the ones you saw the GIF using, that are all kind of like holding them at attention. You see a few of them have kind of broken that line to be like, what the hell's going on? The castle itself is made up of cobblestone. However, it's very well reinforced. You can see that there's actually bits of it where there's been metal sort of welded into, is acting as better bearing against the elements, as well as just fortifying the structure in its own. You can see that there are banners to the Daywalkers that adorn the fronts. Another thing you notice is that the actual castle itself, aside from just the fortifications that it has, you glance about at it just really quickly, kind of taking it all in, and there are several ports where, similar to what you would see on a ship, almost, where you can see that there are small port windows where you could possibly push a cannon out of, or open for a ballista. The castle itself is extremely well protected and is ready for combat should it come to that. As you are all kind of escorted with haste through the main gate, the door will be open for you, and you will see an attendant say, "Welcome to the castle of Forstford and the High Overlord. is obviously expecting you. We'll get you there as quick as we can. What was that?
What we're teaming up to deal with.
Right. Got it. Excellent. Please follow me. And he will lead you with haste, but still with poise, as it seems like that is his duty as a butler in this castle.
Yeah, good thing we were able to try and make this treaty before all this happened.
The emperor, by the way, is being flanked by Oma and Darrow, who are both wary of the situation. This is a lot of empire figureheads that are in what is still just not fully understood enemy territory. And they seem to be incredibly on edge for the situation. But as you are brought, going through the halls themselves, it is a lot less lavish than when you were than the palace in the Empire. It seems like it is extremely simply decorated. Like, it's less of a home and more of a base. There are tables set up, but there aren't flowers, there aren't paintings. There are candles on them, but they seem to have had quite a bit of use. You see that there are guard that seem to kind of be on routine patrol through the area. And you actually pass by what looks to be a few bedrooms. The doors are open, but even the bedrooms themselves are very bare. Like, this castle has been set up to be, from what you can tell, a fallback military base.
Just like our house right now.
Just like your house right now. But you are led upstairs, and you're led up 2 flights of stairs until you get to a very, very open floor. There is nothing else in this room save for the windows at the back, some tapestries for the Daywalkers, and a large table could seat maybe 40-50 people. That is the only fixture in this room. And you can see, sitting at the head of the table, a man very tall, like 6'7", 6'8". He's adorned in this black and gold armor, with symbols to the Daywalkers emblazoned into them. He has very sharp cut black hair. You can see he has a few battle scars across his upper neck and across his face. He's a 5 o'clock shadow going on, with these piercing, what would be almost sickly looking yellow eyes, which some areas of it are partially bloodshot. Let me get my notes out for the council really quick. To the immediate right of him. Sorry, this is what happens when you decide that you want to put everything in your phone. Just trying to find it. There he is, council. Okay. To the immediate right of him, you see a man of high elven descent. His hair is platinum blonde. Still short, maybe only going to about above his neck. You can see he's a lot less grizzled than the High Overlord. But he too is adorned in what looks to be more ornate armor, but functional. Kind of laid at his side against the table is this very large greatsword. And you can see just at the edges of it, they are adorned with small, what at first look to be bird feathers. But as you kind of take a closer look, you see that they are much larger. You get the sense probably somewhere, you'd probably guess, like rock feathers. Rocks being like gargantuan birds. And the blade itself is this very beautiful emerald, with streaks of dark blue that kind of run along from the hilt all the way up the blade. Next to him, you can see what looks like a half-orc, currently adorned in a very simple set of armor, very clearly ornate. He, resting against his side, has a, I think only Daytona has seen this. It is a gun not too unsimilar to the one you saw in Galvarax's room.
Mm-hmm.
He also has, his armor also has the symbol of the Daywalkers, but also has another symbol on it, which is these 3 sets of cogs that are almost kind of grinding into each other. Next to him, you see Galvarax, dressed in the usual attire that he would be in. He is flanked by both of his constructs. He does not have any sort of arms on him, but he does have a folder in front of him, or like a stack of papers in front of him. Next to him, you can see that there is a human, female. She has a very ornate mantle on her, with these sort of, I don't want to say tendrils, what would they be? I couldn't even think of the word when I was making the character. The, like, ribbons, almost, that kind of come off of the front, and then a long cloak down the back.
Like, sort of like fringe, but like...
fringe, kind of, yeah. See, she has shock red hair, like very bright, brilliant, fiery hair. She has a very, very soft but stern look about her. Green eyes that just kind of take you in as you come in. And the final person that you see at the table is a man that is adorned in this very odd sort of metallic substance. It's only in patches across his body, and he currently has this sort of small, like, half mask that covers his lower face. Kind of makes its way down the neck and into his clothing, and you can see that there are 2 small ports on the mask themselves, on the mask itself. As you all enter, they all stand, and the High Overlord looks at him and says, "Emperor Ralph, it's been far too long since we've talked. It's good to see you." And the Emperor kind of returns and says, "Well, I was very surprised to hear you were willing to agree to our ceasefire, and I am most grateful for it. Now please, I'm sure you all here have felt whatever that blast was. We must move with great haste." "I agree." Sits down. Alright. So, I'm trying to get my Russian accent back really quick. Oh, alright, we're good. We're there. So, from what I understand, you 5 are the ones that are going to be stopping this menace.
Exactly.
And quite a motley bunch, are you not?
Could say that.
Surprised we got this far, to be honest.
Based on how all of you look, I'm just as surprised. But if you are indeed the ones that have the capability to do it, then please sit down. I want to keep this brief, especially with what just happened out there.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know, Emperor Elf, how many ships you are willing to. What's the word? Oh my God. What's the word?
Commit to it?
Commit, thank you. I couldn't remember the word commit. I couldn't remember the word commit.
Wow.
This is why you're single.
It is
Yeah.
true. It is true.
You went to too many massage parlors. I'm sorry, Eric.
Oh, that's a story.
It's a story?
It's for our friend Trevor. Yeah, that's a story. We're not gonna tell it on stream, but that's a story. I need to know how many troops you are willing to commit to the cause. And the Emperor will say, he will reach over and take a folder from Talith and put it on the table. And put it on the table, and you see it'll you see as he puts it on the table, it's a very wide table, but you'll see the Emperor or the High Overlord kind of presses a few pieces of the table on his side, and you'll see the folder kind of lift up and float over to him. I'll take it, open it. We are willing to commit a number of 60,000 troops to the cause, as well as vessels that will be willing to transport them. And the Overlord says, "Was that you weren't expecting that number, Luke?"
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but compared to an army, like compared to
Like modern day, I guess.
yeah, it's a modern day. Yeah, you gotta wait. Did I say 6,000 or 60,000?
60.
I supposed to say 6,000. Sorry, in my
Okay,
brain.
that was
Yeah,
more-
6,000. 60,000 would be like 60,000 would be like like the entire force of the Empire.
Women and children are fighting too.
Yeah, it's so 6,000 as well as
I'm doing my
vessels
part.
to transport them. And Overlord goes, "All right. Well, if you can commit that much, we've come up with relief of about the same, about 6,200 that can be committed, and that is pushing our ranks, especially as the Brotherhood still knock at our door. There's another issue, though. We need to be able to access the sea in order to get any troops to your assistance." And the Emperor said, "I have spoken with the headmaster, who is presiding as representative from Kirana, and he said that if such a ceasefire were to happen, we would be able to utilize Kirana for transportation." And Hers says, "Good. At least they're not complete idiots. And you four and you five, I want to know exactly what I'm working with here. What's your background? What's your expertise? How much experience do you have in the battlefield?"
We want to go one by one, General? What?
It's up to you. However you guys want to. You can introduce it as a party. You can introduce it individually.
Us together, we have quite a bit of battle experience. We've been in quite a few scrapes, as you can see. We're all still alive. I myself have been a cleric for about 40 years. I have a lot of experience in both healing and bringing people back to life.
And you look over at we'll roll a d4. Oh, look at you, Nathan.
I confess my background is primarily in espionage. Get in, get out, go into places no one else could survive, and stay there longer than anyone else could and get back. I can't speak for myself. I'm mostly borrowing the power of a solar in the things that I do, so very much not to my own credit, but to hers.
Alright. Do you know how to follow orders?
I do.
Alright, good. We can make use of you then. And you, he'll look over it. Go!
Significantly trained in hand-to-hand combat. I'm probably sufficiently faster than anyone else you've ever met. And I can do this. And is there a wall with nothing on it?
Yeah.
Can I run off it?
Okay, so
And then onto the ceiling and then just kind of drop off? Among other things.
That was legitness.
Everyone at the table seems to like just be staring at you. You'll see Lunan, the elf in that sort of heavy armor with the greatsword, kind of give you like a look of like, like he's interested, but he's like, you could probably just have told us that instead of.
I get that my display implies lack of respect and understanding, but I'm just that way.
Fine. Do not do it again.
Got it.
I look over. I guess Ophelia's going last in this one. Daytona.
Mm-hmm. Truthfully told, I don't have the same experience I have for the rest of these individuals here that stand before you. I tend to be more of a talker, less of a fighter. Doesn't mean that I don't know how to use it, and as I will tap the rapier at my side. I also have magical skills that I'm able to use within my will, and I am willing to also do that. As for following orders before you even ask, of course I can follow orders. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
And you?
I'm an adept spellcaster. I've been an adventurer for most of my life, and of course I can follow orders.
Good. There's a couple of things that need to be sorted out. First and foremost, Emperor. And James will look at him in acknowledgement. Says, I want to know that when this war is over, that when this battle is over, you're not going to immediately turn on my men. And especially not utilize these 5 who you've had in your care for all this time. And the Emperor will say, you have my word that there will be no fight or battle between us until our troops have safely returned home, as I have agreed on.
Mine as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good. The second thing that I want to speak on is, should this all go awry, what is our backup? At which point, table goes silent.
Well,
You're putting the trust of everyone's fate in these 5 people. What happens if they fail?
You want the truth?
Should we tell them the whole truth? Should we exaggerate a little bit? Should we not tell them that all of existence is going to be obliterated if we fail? Or if we kind of fail, that everything's going to be reset? What should we say, guys?
What would happen if the 5th wins? We don't tell them that we have a reset button. Well, to put it simply, everyone dies.
Most everyone. Everyone else that lives, they're gonna suffer. A lot.
So, you're saying we have one shot at this?
It's our best shot we have. We're running out of time.
I'm sure you felt whatever that tremor was.
Yes, I think everyone on the entire fucking continent felt what that was.
Yeah. If you're wondering why the state of the world's as it is, well, you can kind of blame this man.
Well, I would like to propose a third I would like to propose an amendment to our agreement. And the Emperor says, what sort of amendment? 2 things. Number 1, once the threat is taken care of with Tremor, if we should succeed, we turn our combined efforts towards the Brotherhood. I assume Tremor has a stake in them as well, and if there is any sort of methodology that they know to bring him back or continue his work, it should be squashed. And the Emperor says, yes, I believe that would be beneficial to both of us. I see no reason why I would be opposed, or why any of the Empire would be opposed. And you see that the 3 that are at the table also kind of nod in acknowledgement of this. The second thing that I would like to amend in our agreement is that if we should fail, and if these individuals should fall, we must attempt to commit any and all troops beyond what we already committed to try and kill Tremor. At that point, the rest of the war doesn't matter. The Emperor kind of goes quiet for a moment. I don't want to leave my people unguarded, but I suppose then it doesn't matter. And Talith and Elmo will kind of look over at each other. And you see Darrow looks over at the Emperor, and all of them kind of seem to be in quiet thought. And even the people of the council here for the Daywalkers are all kind of trying to weigh the gravity of that statement. So you're suggesting that we leave our homes unguarded, and the Higher will say, yes, I am suggesting that we put these lives at risk. And Tail will say, with all due respect, High Overlord, we can't just lay down innocent people's lives. And the Higher Overlord will say, it doesn't matter if they die, if we're all going to die anyway. At least moving all of our forces gives us a chance to not. And then when we get back, we can deal with the Brotherhood. If we even get back. These are the choices that you have to make when you're in dire situations. A couple thousand innocent lives is a small price to pay when it comes to the entire world. Can the Emperor kind of take a moment and say, very well, if it should come to that, but my hope is it won't. And looks over at all of you. I have a lot of faith in these people. Alright. Favorite few? We'll begin mobilizing troops towards Karana immediately. Once we've arrived there, we will send word for you so you can meet us. We need to get as much of a head start towards Zythan as possible. I suggest in the meantime you make your peace with whoever you need to, and you say whatever goodbyes you need to say. And you better not fail. He just glares at all of you with intent.
Understood.
Failure is not an option for us.
Emperor, if you would, I would like to have a couple more words with you and your council before you depart, if that would be alright. And you will hear. Oh, go ahead.
Another question.
Mm-hmm.
So, can a simulacrum survive inside a bag of holding?
It's a construct, so yes, because it doesn't actually have to breathe.
Can we just say that we stuffed my simulacrum inside her bag of holding?
Double check the simulacrum spell for me, actually. But I think it's just a construct, so I don't think it needs to breathe.
I'm pretty sure it's a construct since it's made of like snow or whatever.
Okay. If you want to.
You want to do some blow, man?
We might as well.
Okay. And the Emperor will say, very well. Well, he'll look at you all. You are they allowed to stay? Or are they going to be leaving? And the higher ruler says, these are words that I would rather have with you in private. No offense to your chosen heroes.
Understood. I'll make my way out.
As you guys are kind of making your way, as you guys begin making your way out, yeah, just a really palpable tension, not only in the room but throughout the castle. There are a couple of mages from the Empire who are there to basically get you back once this brief meeting is over. Yeah, that's really it, at least in the moment.
I'm going to send to the cleric.
The cleric? Which cleric?
My cleric.
Oh,
Eve.
Zanav?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to be moving soon. If I don't make it back, I just want to say thank you and goodbye.
There's a moment of pause. What does Zanav will say? Don't say goodbye. Let's say I'll see you when you get back. I wish you all the luck in the world. And may Daenerys guide you.
Cool.
Alright, as all of you kind of take a moment to yourselves, one of the mages will approach and say, this is going, if I may, this is going much faster than I thought it would.
Is that a good thing?
We had some discussions in the tower with the High Arcanist, and our timetable was at least another 2 weeks out. Thought we'd have more time to prepare. Apologies, I don't mean to waste your time. I'll get you back to the Empire. And he'll kind of ask you all to link hands. You will be teleported away, leaving the Emperor and the High Overseer,
We obviously do.
High Overlord to talk. So you guys touch back down in Nuxvar, having not conveyed to him any of the allies you guys have.
Well, the fact that he was like super serious, there was not even a chance to even explain. So you know,
it's okay. It's okay. The Emperor will do the explaining in your stead.
Okay. Well, stink man. He dismissed us before we could, so that's not our bad.
Hey, since when has dismissing ever meant you need to leave? You could have just been like, there's more.
I mean,
oh, I'm sure the guy that was tearing bullet holes through us, he would like to have additional conversation.
they're definitely.
Had you guys gone with the Daywalkers, this would have been the guy you were reporting to.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Actually did want to have like Daytona have a moment with the party and go like, He thinks that we're chosen by the fucking emperor, like we actually had a goddamn choice about what we got with this.
We didn't really, did we? But
Oh yeah. Remember the last time when you were in jail, Israel?
yeah, it sucked.
Yeah. You made some really bad decisions.
I did.
You lot were in jail.
Oh
I
well.
was.
No, just two of them.
It was a long story. True love.
Not going to
I don't want to get into it.
No worries. Just entertained.
If you really like, I'll explain later. Not now. Not in front of potential listeners.
No, absolutely not.
Tell you all about it.
All right. So, you guys have a week.
All right.
That's
All right.
that is the adventure time to do this. What would you guys? Is there anything you guys want to accomplish during this week?
I feel like we should have some time to think about what we gotta do for a week before the end of the campaign.
No, we need to do. We need to do a shopping episode.
Shopping episode.
Can we pay you in diamonds? What? Can we pay you in diamonds?
All right. We'll go ahead and end today's session there.
Okay.
Yo, one thing. Can I give my staff of frost to?
No, David, because you're the one who wanted to wrap this, so we're wrapping it.
Fine. I was gonna do this before, but I'm gonna do it next time. I'm gonna give staff frost to someone.
Who will it be? Find out
Probably,
next week.
Yeah. Okay. We'll save the cliffhanger for later.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next week. All of our links are downstairs as usual. And we're almost there. Bye, everyone.
Good night, everybody.